This is a true story. No joke, no exaggeration. There once lived a retired pastor named Kim Sanang Ho, an associate of a well-known minister. As a young man in the Chungcheong region of Korea, Pastor Kim suffered a heartbreaking tragedy. His wife passed away. After burying her 50 days later, he took their children to visit her tomb. In Korea, tombs are built high, not flat like in the West. That day it had rained, and a crack had formed in the tomb. Suddenly, the children began clawing at the tomb, crying out, "Daddy, Daddy, Mom is breathing, she's breathing, open the tomb quickly." But Pastor Kim, though his heart trembled, shook his head. He said, "No, this is a new tomb. It's just the rain." He convinced himself she couldn't be alive. The children wept as he took them home. Trying to calm them, he gave them money to buy cookies and sent them out. Alone in the silence, Kim sat down, broken. His heart was crushed, and tears poured as he opened his Bible. Then, without warning, he felt as if a great sword had pierced through his heart. He collapsed. Massive heart attack. He died on the spot. Back in the office, his senior pastor received a telegram. There was no internet back then. The message read, "Kim Sanang Ho died. Please organize funeral arrangements." A doctor had already issued a death certificate. 3 days passed. The pastor personally appointed a funeral committee and sent them to prepare for the burial. In Korea, it was customary to wash and clothe the deceased before placing them in the casket. As they finished preparations and were singing the final hymn, something incredible happened. Kim Sanang Ho sat up, alive. The ministers screamed and ran from the house. They thought they were seeing a ghost. From the doorway, Kim waved to them, trying to calm their fears. But no one dared approach at first. When they finally gathered courage to touch him, he was warm, alive, fully alive. Angrily, he asked, "Why were you trying to bury me?" They stammered, "But you were dead." A doctor confirmed it. Kim then shared a story that he only confided in his senior pastor, the full, unfiltered version. When he felt the sword pierce his heart, he collapsed. As his spirit left his body, he saw 3 stars falling from the sky, which then transformed into 3 angels. They came to him and said, "Let's go home." One angel led the way, while the other 2 took his arms. As they ascended, he looked down and saw his own lifeless body lying on the floor. "That's you," said one of the angels. "Just the husk. You've lived in it long enough. Forget about it." From Earth, they traveled north. He described a superhighway stretching from the North Pole to heaven, glowing with lightning speed. Many souls were riding what looked like a celestial escalator. The journey took 1 day. Eventually, they arrived in a magnificent universe filled with blinding light and glory, the New Jerusalem. The gates swung open. Jesus was there to welcome him, along with a host of angels and the spirits of the righteous. There he met David, who shook his hand warmly, and Stephen, the first martyr. "Didn't it hurt when they stoned you?" Kim asked. Stephen smiled. "Not at all. Jesus was watching me the whole time. I was so full of joy I felt nothing. A great river flowed from God's throne, lined with trees bearing fruit. People and angels sat together, plucking fruit that turned into fragrance inside their bodies. The air was full of perfume and music. Then Jesus said, 'Let's go worship the Father.' They entered a vast, endless auditorium filled with millions upon millions of angels, bowing in worship. Waves of praise like the sea crashed all around. At the center of it all, God himself appeared like a great mountain of pure light. 'Lord,' Kim said, 'can I see my wife?' She died 5 days before me." Jesus answered, "You're here because she requested it." They walked to a glorious mansion. His wife stepped out, wearing radiant garments, accompanied by an angel. She was stunning, transformed completely. "Pastor," Kim would later say, "she looked like Jesus himself." The senior pastor laughed when hearing this. "She was not beautiful on earth," he recalled. "Every time I visited, she brought food, but she was plain and unattractive. I pitied Kim. But in heaven, she was completely renewed. When Kim reached out to embrace her, she gently stopped him. 'You still belong to the earth,' she said. 'But I begged Jesus to let you visit. Our children were so heartbroken.' She continued, 'Tell them I'm more alive here than I ever was on earth. Tell them I'm full of joy, and let them know they will all become ministers. They must stay faithful to Christ and preach the gospel.' As she spoke, Kim noticed something on the back of her head, a diamond-bright glow. He remembered the day her father had smashed a rock into her skull for going to church. That scar was now shining like a jewel. Jesus then said, 'There's more for you to see.' They passed mansions upon mansions, glorious beyond imagination. But one surprised him most. A large home belonged to a poor woman from his church. She had been unnoticed, cleaning floors and lighting stoves. Yet here she had a palace. Not far off was a proud elder's home, smaller and less glorious. When Kim reached his own mansion, he was heartbroken. It had no roof. 'Lord, why?' he asked. Jesus smiled. 'Don't worry. The materials are still coming from earth. Your good works are building it. Go back, continue the work, and when it's finished, we'll bring you home again.' Then Jesus warned, 'Quickly, your friends are about to bury you. If they do, you'll have no place to return to.' The three angels rushed him back. At the gate of heaven, someone called to him, 'Wait.' It was Abraham, young and radiant. Kim was shocked. 'I thought Abraham was old,' he exclaimed. But Abraham, full of youthful glory, said, 'Tell the people, Christ is coming back soon, much sooner than they think. Let them be ready.' Then the angels guided Kim down the heavenly escalator. As they descended, he saw his own funeral, his body lying in a coffin, friends preparing to close the lid. The angel said, 'Dive in.' And he did. He landed in his body and came back to life. Pastor Kim Sanang Ho is still alive today. He serves in ministry and prayer in South Korea.